Hey everyone, here we are, another day of trying to get this floor out of the bus. I'm fighting with these wheelchair tie-down tracks that are recessed into the subfloor. And what I ended up having to do was just cut all around the tracks with a reciprocating tool, enough that I could free up enough space around the track that I could slide a reciprocating saw blade under the track and cut off those bolts. I hate it. They used an Allen wrench type head on the bolts, and then the lock nuts under the bus were rusted enough that they just weren't coming out without stripping that Allen head. And it really frustrates me they used that kind of bolt head. It just seems like they could have come up with a better type of fastener, but be that as it may, we got it done eventually. So you can see me here cutting around the with the reciprocating tool, and it's a kind of a slow process, but it's not terrible. I got the new Milwaukee oscillating tool there. Decided to switch to Milwaukee tools recently, but it's working pretty good. And here I am getting the reciprocating saw, getting ready to cut those bolts off. I think at this point I only had maybe 2 bolts left to cut off. I've been messing with this for a good while now. You can see I have a really long and really thin blade. The tracks were very tight against the railing. The subfloor actually went under the tracks. And so there's a little piece of the subfloor where they just routed a channel out and set the tracks into that channel in the subfloor. So yeah, the plywood went all the way under the tracks, and so I had to slip the blade under the plywood in order to cut off those bolts. And it's pretty tight in some places. It wasn't so bad on that back one because I had it so loose at this point it was moving around a good bit, but some of the front ones were much tighter. And there we can see I got it out finally, after way more time spent than I wanted to. Finally got it removed. Moving on to the second track now. I'm just going through here trying to gracefully remove as many bolts as I can, albeit mostly unsuccessfully. I do get one cleanly removed, and if I recall, I might have removed 1 or 2 others successfully, but then I resort to having to just cut around it with the oscillating tool and cut off the rest of the bolts because I just couldn't get all of them out. Here's what she looks like with all of the tracks removed. I don't know what happened to the footage of me prying the floor up, but you can just imagine what that might have looked like. And you'll see on the back third track that there were actually threaded inserts in the floor of the bus and the metal railing. So there was no nut on the bottom of the bolt under the bus that was rusted on. So I was able to back all of these out normally. I didn't have to cut off any of those bolts. So it would have been great if they had done that on the rest of them, but at least the third one was a good bit easier. Here's the last piece of floor that I have to remove, and there's some more cleanup to do. If you see, I've got all these rusted screws from the floor that I could not get out. The heads were so rusted I had to pry the floor up around them. So now all those have to be cut off, and there's a number of them throughout here, and you can see here in the back just how rusted some of these were, and so there's just no way those were going to come out normally. Some I had to cut out, others I was actually able to chuck my drill down on the head, tighten the chuck around on the screw, and back them out that way. And I got out most of them that way, and then I cut off the rest. So everything's super annoying. Figured I'd just show you how annoying. All the bolts that hold this floor down, you can see some here that I've exposed. So they all pretty much look like this. See that little round hole? They put some sort of wood filler, or just a filler, in all of the countersunk bolt holes. So I have to go through and first try to spot them, then pry out the filler so I can expose the bolt head, and then hope that it's not rusted and I can actually back the bolt out. Which generally, if the filler's intact, a lot of the bolt holes are in good shape under it. The worst rusted ones, the filler is deteriorated away, something like that, where I can tell that bolt head is just ruined, and there's no way I'll ever be able to back that out. So yeah, it's fun. And here's the amazing thing. So you saw how bad the bolts are in shape in some places, and there's definitely, a reasonable rust right there. But, looking at this, look how clean the steel is. I mean, there's a little bit of rust there, but a lot of the moisture did not make it through to the frame enough to cause any major damage. So that's one thing to be happy about. Even that rust is not so bad that it's structurally a problem. So just have to clean it all up, give it a fresh paint job, and it should be good to go. Maybe I shouldn't shoot a bunch of sparks onto a flammable can of mineral spirits, perhaps. Let's move that.